Now that he has descended through each controlled layer, Ted is cleared to land.
We've cleared the runway, which means we finish our rollout and turn to the left or the right to get onto a taxiway.
But even here, Ted is tracked and given instructions by another controller.
414, turn right heading 070.
Ground control is in the control tower, and they have a visual view of all the ground area of the airport, and they're managing the ground-based traffic.
With such a complicated system, including multiple air traffic controllers, restricted zones, and ground control, how could any object navigate over this airport without being tracked by numerous officials?
I don't think there's any way that a conventional aircraft could get into Chicago, or really any fully controlled airspace, without being detected.
With no ground workers or pilots willing to go on record, other corroborating witnesses are key to confirming the O'Hare sighting. And Sam Moranto, director of the Illinois Mutual UFO Network, has one.
What we really want is an eyewitness who's totally independent of the FAA and United Airlines.
Well, Pat, I think we have the witness.
Sam's witness claims to have been in a car, driving to O'Hare when she notices something in the sky.
She was coming down Mannheim Road, where she had noticed the object over gate C-17 and went off into the international area, parked as soon as possible, got out with her and her friend, and observed the object for some length of time with groups of people in and about the area.
The witness, known only as Ms. J.H., comes forward after Hilkovich's article in the Tribune. She requests anonymity, but consents to a taped phone interview with Sam. And for her protection, her voice has been altered.
At the point when I first saw it, it was straight ahead of me, slightly to the left, and just sitting there. Didn't in any way look like a plane. It seemed very much to absorb and take on the colors of its surroundings.
From her description, I'm gathering that this thing would have been very difficult to see.
This description of a UFO appearing to blend with the atmosphere is similar to another aerial sighting reported over Paris in 1994. An Air France captain also sees a disc that he claims dematerializes in front of his eyes. Is this a second account of a UFO that is able to utilize a new form of stealth technology? But the object over Chicago's appearance is not its only unconventional capability.
It went from just a dead zero to just God only knows what instant velocity. I mean, it just went, and people gasped, and a couple people totally squealed when it took off.
The reactions are so strong, to squeal, to screech.
Because you're thinking, what could do that?
It was very obviously not clouds. It was very obviously a solid object. It didn't change shape in any way. It obviously wasn't a balloon that was subject to the wind. It didn't move with the wind. This wasn't some, case of lights that look a little unusual at night or anything like that. This was just a very blatant daytime sighting.
This was explained away as a weather phenomenon. That was the official FAA explanation, but she says this is not a cloud. It was not drifting with the breeze. It's not a balloon. She says this is a very solid, structured craft. Without a doubt, this woman saw the exact same thing that the United personnel saw. She was essentially describing a strange disc-shaped craft that flew off and punched a hole through the clouds. So I believe they saw the same thing.
With witnesses requesting anonymity, the investigation turns to an actual air traffic controller in the O'Hare Tower that day,
Somebody observed a flying disc about 1,000 feet above Gate Charlie 17.
And he is speaking out for the very first time on television.
United Airlines employees saw some type of strange object.
The team is in Chicago, investigating an alleged UFO reported by United Airlines employees on November 7, 2006. The FAA, citing a lack of radar or visual evidence, refuses to investigate. United Airlines conducts an internal investigation. And reporter John Hilkovich confirms they forbid their employees to speak of the sighting publicly. Having heard the tower tapes firsthand, Pat and Bill meet with Craig Berzik, an air traffic controller with 22 years' experience. 18 of those years at O'Hare. Craig is handling ground control on November 7, 2006. He is speaking about this on television for the first time. On the tapes, it is Craig who asks if the other planes see the UFO reported over C-17.
Gateway 5668.
5668, go ahead.
Yeah, look out your window. Do you see anything above United's concourse? They actually, believe it or not, they called us and said somebody observed a flying disc.
How did this incident start for you?
The supervisor usually takes the phone call, which he did, and he put the phone down and just kind of yelled out to everybody that United Airlines was on the phone, and they were saying that some of their employees were claiming that they saw some type of strange object hovering above the United terminal. And so he basically asked everybody, does anybody see anything? Did anybody see anything before? Do we have any helicopters hovering around, that sort of thing? And the answer was no.
Even though he does not see anything over the gate, Craig asks other planes about the alleged UFO.
Somebody observed a flying disc about 1,000 feet above the Gate Charlie 17. You see anything over there?
I had a regional jet which was parked in a holding area on the opposite side of United's terminal. So I went out to that pilot and informed him that somebody had called and were claiming they saw something. Did you see anything? And his response was, no, we don't see anything, and we did not see anything. He had been there for about 20 minutes.
But then Craig's communication with the regional jet is broken into by a United taxi mechanic who is moving the plane back to the terminal.
We saw it a half hour ago.
Who saw it?
A whole bunch of us over at the Charlie concourse.
Really? You guys did? Who's it?
The United taxi mechanic.
So what happens when you get these two conflicting reports? How do you try to resolve them in your own mind?
Had we saw something up there like they did, then obviously it would have been much different, but really we didn't see anything. There were no fewer than 15 people up in the tower cab at that time. Controllers, supervisors, traffic management people. We work in a building that's designed to see aircraft. I mean, that's what our job is. Our job description is safety. We have a clear view, 360 degrees, and the only blind spot I would say would be directly above the control tower.
Yet according to the NARCAP report on the O'Hare incident, there is a flaw in the tower design. Based on NARCAP's calculations, an air traffic controller standing next to the console and facing gate C-17 would have a vertical view of about 30 degrees arc before his vision would be blocked by the outsized overhanging roof and upper window frame. He could only see a